was in the age of Barbara and Lauren and Jennifer, and my mother called me Shay. What do you mean?
She a nice one.
Although English
As
is...
an adult, I got used to
to
it.
it. All right, well, although English is our first language, the classroom statistics regarding the failure of the subject is staggering. So let's tackle the problem and hopefully get a few solutions with education consultant Cheyenne Hewan. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Cheyenne, it's a never-ending debate. This
Yes.
thing about English and the challenges. First of all, why is it such a challenge for our students?
I think because we teach it in a segmented fashion. So we teach grammar as grammar, and they never make that quantum leap to transfer it to production. And that's the problem. And
What does that mean? What does that mean?
It means that you will find that there are students who know the grammar. They know the part of speech, the punctuation, but they still can't write. And so my focus is not on learning the grammar and those things. Those are just tools. I focus on writing. And writing is where it does the transformation. The ability to express yourself, whether orally or on paper, comes from an ability to be engaging. All writing should be engaging and exciting. No, writing should be engaging and exciting. It might not always be exciting, but all writing should be engaging. So when you have a mindset that I have to engage my reader, you approach the subject differently. We don't teach writing, we teach grammar and then tell them to write.
But if I understand grammar and punctuation and everything, why can't I write?
Because it's a skill, it's an art. And so I have defined what fine writing looks like. And that's the benchmark. When you take what you know and you translate it in a communication vehicle, then you write well.
Let's be a little bit more specific. I have 5 problems that students face. One is how to organize what one has to say.
Right.
Take me through that.
Okay, well, the first thing is every piece of writing has its structure.
Yeah.
Let's be specific. Writing what? What we're writing here.
Okay, so you're writing a letter.
Okay.
The purpose, the content of the letter is determined by the purpose of the letter. And for each purpose and content, there are rules that should be included in that. So you go to the task knowing that if I'm writing a thank you letter, this is what should be in it. And it cannot sound like any other. If I'm writing a letter of complaint, this is what should be in it. So in my book, I list the different types of letters that can be written and what should be included in each type. So the kids know that off the cuff, you know, I'm writing this, this is what should be in it, because the content of the letter is determined by the purpose of the letter. One of the problems that students have with writing stories is that they write accounts and call it a story. But a story has a structure. There are 4 types of essays: the narrative, the descriptive, the persuasive, and the expository.
But if Delia is abroad and I want to write to Delia and tell her what's happening on Smile Jamaica, and I tell her, so she knows what's happening on Smile Jamaica, I have a new co-host named Cheyenne, and she wears glasses and things, what does it matter if I do it structured, if she gets what I'm trying to tell her?
Even if you're writing a fun letter, the structure remains the same. At the end, that structure determines what your reader receives. So you want her to know some core facts, there's a way to present those core facts. You know, it doesn't become an issue when you are familiar with it. At the outset, because you're not taught that way.
I think what you just said is one of the issues that I think they overlook. That the process is about the person who's going to receive it.
Exactly.
So you have the information, which you can probably think, well, if I put a 1 sentence, I understand what I'm saying, but never will not understand what I'm saying. So I find, and tell me if this is also true to you, with social media and the sending of the 2 words to mean 100 words, content is suffering in terms of writing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's not enough substance, and there's
Right.
not, they give you 2 lines and it's a paragraph.
Right.
Wow. So let's talk about paragraphs, because it's a challenge.
This is it.
It's
Because
a challenge. How do they, you know, I'm going to write a paragraph. What am I structuring? What am I doing?
Okay, it doesn't matter what the nature of the paragraph is. The fact is, if it's there are three types of paragraphs: the introductory paragraph, the body, and the concluding paragraph. They all have a different role to play, and they are not the same. So you can't tag. The introduction cannot sound like the body, and the body cannot sound like the conclusion. The end must sound like the end. And so they have to make. You talked about mathematics before, and that's the way I approach this. That the structures are very analytical and very mathematical, so you come out right every single time. There's no hit and miss. Every single time. There is a structure for every type of essay. I was talking about the story, for instance. The story must have 3 points: the conflict, the climax, and the conclusion. If you don't have that, then it's an account and a report, but not a story.
Right.
So you can be asked, so if you don't know, so in my book, I have the triangle. When I give the examples of what the children have written, and I have examples of what children have written. I have a 9-year-old who has a piece in here. Everybody says, oh, somebody wrote it for her. No, her mom was sitting right there in the class. Because I do one-on-one.
You said the paragraphs must have a topic sentence, developing sentences,
and a concluding
sentence. So almost a body within the body.
Exactly.
Of the essay. Okay.
But that introductory sentence is what kicks it all off. For instance, with the story, they're taught to say, one bright and sunny day.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, no. I have 17 different ways that you can begin any type of writing, whether it's a letter, a story, or whatever it is, expository, an article. So you need to get comfortable with at least 5 of the 17, so that when you are ready to write, you just jump in there because you are familiar. I have a student who's very good at anecdotes. She never knew what it was before, but having been exposed, she just makes them up like that, and she begins with a punch. That first sentence is very critical. You're writing a letter and you don't have that first sentence with the kick.
There's another topic here that says how to know when you have communicated well. So what does that mean first, and how do I know when I've communicated well?
Okay, I have a writing rubric at the front of the book. And so if you check over what you've done against the rubric, you will get a sense of where you fall. Is your topic sentence on point? Does it hit the mark? Can the reader say wow? I have another page in the book that talks about the wow factor. If I read what you tell me and I don't say wow, it's empty, it's dry, it has...
What's that we're looking at?
That's the cover of the book.
Yep. Tell me about the book.
Okay, the book is in 2 parts. Part 1 has the tools, which would be the grammar, the punctuation. I have a page of transition words. So instead of saying however, you have an entire listing of transition words in categories so that you can choose and really enhance what you do. I have proverbs. Proverbs are a great way to develop themes and subject matters and titles. I have in the book a whole section on how to title whatever you write. And later on, it's going to transfer even in the subject matters for your email, because everything is intentional. Everything is with a purpose. There is a reason why we do what we do, but the end result is the same every single time.
I have some students that are great at the oral presentation if they have to stand and explain the issues raised and the topics, but to now translate that in writing is a challenge.
The structure. The structure.
The structure.
So if they learn the structure, I have students writing 300 words in half an hour because they are so confident. They know they're good. They get out the blocks with that.
They have the information.
Yes.
They're very bright with the information. It's getting it out.
So you structure that information and you don't have a problem. Our children are very bright.
Where can we get the book?
Well, Kingston Bookshop, this is a version of the first one that came out, and Kingston Bookshop was the distributor, and they will still continue to be the distributor.
Okay. Thanks a lot
now.
for coming.
Thank you very
Great
much
to
for
meet
having
you.
me.
Agequartagis.
Woolmers?
Yeah.
Poor thing. Sorry for the tone. Sorry for
The
the
best.
Good
The
English
That's why
education.
the
Me sorry
foundation.
for the tone. Education consultant, Sharon Hewitt.
Okay.
We're going to take you through snapshots of Jamaica's musical journey right after this.